Hey everybody, happy Isu Chag. I hope you had a great Pesach and a Shvi'i Shel Pesach where we went through the Red Sea and Hashem did a tremendous miracle. That's a whole other, shiur or class that we could do about like what was up with the splitting of the Red Sea. Although I think we might have done it. We may have done something about that in Shemot when that happened in the Parsha. This is the Parsha of Shmini. It's about the 8th. That's what Shmini means, the 8th. And it's the 8th day when they were building the Mishkan. And it seems like for 7 days, they were constantly dismantling it and rebuilding it. Like it wouldn't actually stand. It wasn't established until the 8th day. Finally, it kind of stood, and that was it. So on the 8th day, a lot of things happened, and it comes out to be Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It was the first of Nisan in the Parsha, and a lot of different things are going on. There's a whole story of Nadav and Avihu, who were killed on this day, and it's very, very unfortunate. These were the two sons of Aaron. Anyway, that's a different story. I'm not going to focus on that today. What I would like to focus on is the idea that in this Parsha, we have a lot of mitzvot that have to do with holiness. And it actually says at the end of the Parsha, V'hitkadashtem v'hitem kadoshim. And you should make yourselves holy and you will be holy. So it's an interesting wording of that. And it also says at the end of the pasuk, V'hitem kadoshim ki kadosh ani. You should be holy because I am holy. And you shall not, v'lo titamu et nafshotechem b'chol hasheretz haromes al haaretz. There's a lot of things in this parsha that have to do with becoming holy. And one of the things that's interesting is kashrut, the laws of kosher, keeping kosher, and also the laws of sexual relationships, that there's certain relationships that are not okay and certain foods that are not okay if you, my nation, Israel, are going to be my chosen nation. And you were specifically chosen for a specific thing, and that is to be a light unto the nation, to be a holy nation, to be a nation of priests. And your main mission in life is to come close to me, says Hashem. And therefore, there are certain things that you're just are not going to be appropriate. As we say in Yiddish, pasnisht. It's not matim, it's not befitting this holy nation to eat certain foods, like certain animals of prey, certain seafood, certain birds, like that are not. And sheretz, specifically creepy, crawly things. You're not supposed to. It's not matim, for whatever reason. It's mostly a chok. It's mostly a not rational mitzvah, this whole concept of eating kosher, but there are certain things that you can understand, and we do have an understanding that there is a spiritual reality that we're not quite clear about. It's a metaphysical reality, and Hashem says this is a spiritual, there's a certain spiritual energy that comes through the food that you eat. As we saw on Pesach, there was a real spiritual energy to the matzah versus the chametz. There is something spiritual about the food that you eat. And part of the foods that you're not supposed to eat, you're not supposed to ingest certain energies into your body that are based on the different animals that are not kosher. So there's certain animals you're not supposed to eat, certain like insects and bugs you're not supposed to eat. And also, there's certain relationships you're not supposed to have if you are going to be a holy nation. So there's a whole to do about this, but Netivot Shalom basically is trying to say that at the end of the day, being holy is not about like sitting on a rooftop, not a rooftop, sit on the rooftop. It sounds like a Billy Joel song. Sitting on a mountaintop and being a guru and being removed from life, from the physical, but rather it's being involved in the physical. It's of course having relationships and eating food, but just being mindful or being selective about the relationships that you have and about the foods that you eat, and being careful to kind of humanize or make holy that which is in the physical world and make it godly. It's not only humanized, but make it godly. And so it's very different than what we might think, or that non-Jewish religions or that other religions might have in terms of what is their holy person, as somebody who really either is ascetic and it removes himself completely from the material world, or somebody who doesn't have any sexual relationships, like a priest or a monk or a nun, or like fasting for all these, certain days or whatever. That's not our nation. Our nation just eats very specific food, eats for a reason, has relationships for a reason, with a higher good in mind, with making the mundane and the physical meaningful. And that creates a holy nation. And Netivot Shalom also says that this parsha always comes out during Sfirat HaOmer. What we did right now with Pesach and with Shvi Shel Pesach, this whole week that we just finished now, was really the beginning of our nationhood. It really started us out. It gave us this extra energy where Hashem kind of like started it all out from Itaruta de la Ela. Hashem from heaven came down like Superman, swooped us up out of Mitzrayim, out of the slavery, out of that mentality of being like in this depraved Egyptian nation, and starts to create this mission, like a state of, like a certain process whereby we come out of slavery and we become his nation, to the point where we receive the Torah on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai, basically 49 days later. And the whole process through which we become that nation happens during Sfirat HaOmer. And we start with this like elevated, like amazing, Hashem is just rescuing us, and then we go back down to the beginning where we have to make choices and we have to really start working on ourselves, because it really started with just Hashem deciding on his own that he is infatuated with us. He wants us as a nation. He wants us as his beloved. We don't have to do anything to deserve it. But that kind of love doesn't last. We really have to feel like we own this relationship, that we make some choices. And that happens during Sfirat HaOmer, during this whole process. And he says specifically this parsha, which talks about becoming holy, happens during Sfirat HaOmer, because this is an opportune time. This is the energy available to us during this time, is where we make the choices to develop ourselves, to start working on ourselves. We got it. We understand that you, Hashem, want us as his nation. You want us as your beloved, and you want us to take on this mission as to be a holy nation, to like create within ourselves that ability to have a relationship with you. And certain things have to happen for that. Kashrut has to happen. We have to have certain relationships that are more befitting for a prince or a princess, or more befitting the beloved of the king. And also, we have to work on ourselves. We have to work on our mitot. We have to work on really, getting out of ourselves and starting to earn that relationship that really Hashem gave it to us completely undeserved. And he says very beautifully that, how does it go? That everybody, that it's like Hashem knows that we have that potential within us. And that's really why he started us out with coming out of Mitzrayim, and he just didn't give us any condition. We didn't have to do anything to deserve the leaving of Mitzrayim. But he says that every Jewish person has within them the potential to become that holy nation. And you should never think, it's unbelievable, you should never, Zeh hayud shel klal Yisrael, this is our mission in life, and you should never think kol inyanei kedusha ha'amurim einam b'vchinat gdolot ata mevakesh. Don't imagine that what? I can be a holy person? I'm not a holy person. I'm just human. I just have my problems, my flaws. Maybe some, big rabbi or big rebbitzin, they can be holy. But I can't be holy. I have so many issues. I have so much baggage. And he says, absolutely not. This is not something great. This is not something big that is impossible for certain people to reach, and only some people can reach that level. No, every single person in the nation of Israel has that potential within them. Kulo kadosh, hakadusha chofefet al kol mahuto. Holiness surrounds every Jew, every single Jewish person. It is completely inside of them. It is what is like really is the energy that makes us tick, and we can reach that level in our mind. We can have hashkafot, deot. We can have the true opinions, true hashkafa. We can reach true beliefs, which is really in our minds. We can also reach good midot, good character traits, which is in our heart. And that's the work of the Omer, the Sfirat Omer. And we can also reach Gam ha'evarim yiyu b'kedusha. Even our limbs, our organs, our limbs, our bodies, our actions can all be holy actions. And he says basically every single Jewish person is like this. And I was really thinking, Yehudi mashuli halom, that a Jewish person is, I wasn't thinking this he says, but then I'll tell you what I was thinking. A Jewish person is like a diamond. She'af im nafal v'nishka b'boats, even if he got into the mud and he got all dirty, lo hu'am zaharo, it doesn't become less value. Tzrichim rak laharimo. Somebody just needs to pick it up and clean it, and then you've got your diamond again. It's a perfectly gorgeous diamond, and it doesn't make a difference if it got a little dirty. Kach hi neshama Yehudit. This is every single Jewish soul. Im rak lo nitnatek chas v'shalom, if he didn't actually assimilate and become non-Jewish, like if he marries a non-Jew and has a non-Jewish child, that person already, okay, that person is really, really too far. But as long as he didn't do that, I mean, even he could come back to Judaism, and even the child could convert. But at that point, but like if he didn't reach that level yet, adayin mevakesh lahachzik, yesh lo et hakoach shehu chelek eloka mima'al. Each and every single person, as long as he wants to stick with the Jewish people and be a Jewish person, he is part of Hashem. He has a chelek eloka mima'al. He has that part of Hashem within him. And this is the main avoda of Yemei HaSfira, of the days of Sfirat HaOmer. Kedeita, that we can reach very, very high levels, as it says in the holy books. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu Natan Koach. Hashem gave a special energy to these days of Sefira, that every person can reach the level of national revelation when they come to Shavuot, when they come to the day of the giving of the Torah. So I was just thinking the other day, today actually, you know what? I want to dedicate this shiur to the Refuah Shalema of Eliyah ben Sigalit. I don't know if you remember that name, but I remember it because he was one of the prisoners, one of the captives, the hostages that was held in Gaza for, I think a year and a half. I don't think he was the 2 year, but he was maybe 6 months earlier. He was released. Eliyah Cohen. And he was the son of Sigalit. He is the son of Sigalit, and he has a major surgery going on today. And he actually got on Instagram. This is a person who's not religious at all. Before the 7th of October, he did not have anything to do with Judaism. I mean, I assume because he's a Kohen, and this is actually what the Torah is talking about, that you need to be a nation of priests. So I assume there was something inside of him that was very much connected still, because he did have that priestly, that Kohen genetic makeup. But having said that, he really had nothing to do with Judaism or active observance. And yet he got on Instagram today and he said, I have an operation today, and I'm really nervous because it's a triggering day for me, because I'm going to a hospital, and I really don't like hospitals because I had a very, very big trauma when I was brought into a hospital in Gaza on the 7th of October, having my leg completely like smashed, and obviously, you know, I don't even know what happened. I don't want to know what happened, but he had a very bad experience in a hospital there. And so he was afraid to go to the hospital, but he said, I'm getting over it, and I have to take that operation today, get that surgery today, and I'm asking you all to pray for me, Eliyah ben Sigalit. So that it should go well, that I should be able to stand on my leg, and that I should be able to stand at my wedding. He's getting married. I think his girlfriend's name is Ziv, and he's engaged to her. He got engaged a few months after he was released from captivity, Baruch Hashem, and he's getting married soon. So he was just asking all of Am Yisrael, because he knows that we all have such energy, and that we're able to heal him and help Hashem and ask Hashem to heal him. So let's all do that, okay? And all the zchuyot, all the merit of this particular shir, if anybody hears it, and if you could daven for Elia ben Sigalit, for refuah shalema, so that he can be able to stand and be healthy and healed on the day of his wedding. And he said he promised to also like update us, keep us all posted on how it goes. So and I'm just saying that, like, oh, and he said, and I specifically just want to do this. I want to get over my trigger, my trauma, and I want to go with a derech emunah. I want to do this in a way which is emunah oriented, which is belief and faith in Hashem. So just because he's doing that, and like you just see how each and every Jew is a diamond, and no matter what people go through, they end up coming back to emunah in the end of the day, and that is really why we were redeemed from Egypt. B'zchut emunah nigalu avotenu miMitzrayim. We were redeemed because of emunah, and that's really what's holding us together, and that's why Hashem chose us as His nation, as His holy nation, and that's what we have to do. Okay, so have a good Shabbos, everybody. Am Yisrael Chai.